Today, we're reading Magic Treehouse, a Merlin mission, Night of the New Magicians. We'll only be reading 2 chapters today, so stay tuned for part 2. Chapter 1. 4 New Magicians. Jack sat on the porch reading in the summer twilight. Crickets chirped in the Frog Creek woods. The bell of an ice cream truck jingled down the streets. Annie stepped out the front door. "Let's go," she said. "Where?" said Jack. "Mom gave us some money for ice cream," says Annie. "Cool," said Jack. He pulled his backpack, then followed Annie down to the porch steps. As they headed up the sidewalk, the smell of damp leaves and moss wafted from the woods. Annie stopped walking. "Listen," she said. Jack listened. "What?" he said. "I don't hear anything." "That's the point," said Annie. "A minute ago, the crickets were blaring away. Now everything's super quiet." Jack listened again. Annie was right. All the Frog Creek woods seemed to be holding its breath. "Do you think?" said Jack. "Maybe," said Annie, grinning. "Let's go check." Jack and Annie hurried across the street and into the dimly lit woods. They walked quickly between the leafy trees until they came to the tallest oak. A rope ladder dangled from the treetop. A magic treehouse sat high in the branches, catching the last light of day. Jack smiled. "I guess ice cream will have to wait," he said. "Yup," said Annie. She grabbed her ladder and climbed up. Jack climbed right after her. Inside the treehouse, dusky light filtered through the window. Lying on the wooden floor was a folded piece of paper and a slim book with a red cover. Annie grabbed the paper. Jack picked up the book. This must be a research book for Morgan. The book's title was written in golden letters. Guidebook, Paris World's Fair, 1889. "Paris World Fair?" said Jack. "That sounds like fun," said Annie. "Yeah, but I wonder why we're going there," said Jack. "This should tell us," said Annie. She unfolded the paper. "It's Merlin's handwriting," she read aloud. "To Jack and Annie of Frog Creek. I've discovered that an evil sorcerer is plotting to steal the secrets of 4 new magicians at the Paris World Fair. Your mission is to find the magicians, warn them, and learn their secrets for me. The 4 new magicians are the magic of sound. His voice can be heard for 1,000 miles. The magic of light. His fires glow, but they do not burn. The magician of the invisible. He battles deadly enemies no one can see. And the magic of iron. He bends the metals of the earth and triumphs over the wind. Good luck, M." "Our mission sounds more like a fairy tale than real life," said Anne. "An evil sorcerer, magicians of the invisible, light, sound, and iron. They sound like they belong in a magical place like Camelot, not a real place like Paris, France." "But we're going to a World's Fair," said Annie. "That sounds kind of magical, doesn't it?" "Maybe," said Jack. "But why does such powerful magicians need our help in the first place? Why can't they defeat the evil sorcerer with their own powers?" "Maybe the sorcerer's power is stronger than theirs," said Annie. "So maybe we can help them with Teddy and Kathleen's rhymes," said Jack. Annie gasped. "Oh no! We need the rhyme book. We have to go back and get them." "Don't worry, I have it," said Jack. "Ever since we got back from Baghdad, I've been carrying it with me everywhere I go, just in case Merlin sends for us." "Whew," says Annie. "Let's take a look." Jack reached into his backpack. He pulled out the small book written by their 2 young sorcerer friends from Camelot. 10 magic rhymes for Annie and Jack, from Teddy and Kathleen. Jack turned to the table of contents. "Okay, we've used 5 rhymes on our last 2 missions," he said, "so we have 5 left for the next 2. We still haven't used spin into the air, or make something disappear, or pull a cloud from the sky, or find a treasure you must never lose, or turn into ducks. Quack, quack!" Jack looked up. "Just kidding," said Annie. "You'd better not make jokes about these rhymes," Jack said. "You might end up saying the wrong one at the wrong time and get us in trouble." He closed the rhyme book. "Ready to go?" "Ready," said Annie. Jack took a deep breath and picked up the guidebook to 1899 Paris World Fair. He pointed to the title. "I wish we could go there," he said. The wind started to blow. The trees started to spin. It spun faster and faster. Then everything was still. Absolutely still. Chapter 2. A Living Encyclopedia. Jack opened his eyes. The scent of roses floated through the warm twilight. Jack was wearing an old-fashioned cap and a rusted-colored jacket and knee-length pants. His backpack had turned into a leather satchel. Annie was wearing a puffy white blouse and a long purple skirt with a ruffle. "Look, there's the Eiffel Tower," she said. Jack looked. They had landed in a park filled with trees. Beyond the park, rising into the sky, was a tall tower with lights beaming from the top. "That's the Eiffel Tower, all right," said Jack. "But where's the World Fair?" He opened their guidebook and found a map. "Oh, great. It looks like the fair is directly below the tower. That should make it easy to find." "Let's get going," said Annie. "Wait, we need to go over to see what we have to do on our mission," said Jack. "It's simple. We have to find the magician of sound, the magician of light, and the magician of the invisible. We have to warn them about the evil sorcerer and then learn their secrets from Merlin." "That doesn't sound simple to me. It sounds like a huge responsibility." "So we'd better get started now," said Annie. "Come on." Annie led the way down the tree to the house ladder. Jack put their World's Fair guide into his satchel, along with their letter from Merlin, the book of rhymes from Teddy and Kathleen. Then he followed Annie down the ladder. As Jack and Annie started across the park, a clinking sound came from Annie's skirt pocket. She reached into the pocket and pulled out a handful of coins. "Hey, our ice cream money got changed into French coins," she said. "Good," said Jack. "We might need them at the fair." Jack and Annie followed a gravel path that led out to the park and onto an avenue lit by gas lamps, horse-drawn carriages, and old-fashioned bicycles that clattered over the cobblestones. They all seemed to be headed towards a crowded bridge that crossed a wide river. Boats were getting down the river, their lights reflecting the water. On the far side of the river, thousands of tiny lamps twinkled along the bank. The Eiffel Tower glowed in the silver twilight. "Paris is so beautiful," said Annie. "No kidding," said Jack. "Let's cross that bridge to the fair." They hurried to join the people streaming across the bridge. Jack and Annie blended in easily with the happy crowd. The kids in the crowd were all wearing clothes like theirs. Most of the men wore black top hats and black coats and pants. The women wore hats as big as flower baskets, their long, colorful dresses puffed out in the back. They seemed to be visitors from many countries. Jack saw Chinese straw hats, Dutch caps, several Indian turbans, and a Mexican sombrero. "This reminds me of the carnival we went to Venice." "Me too," said Jack. "Except in Venice, people were wearing costumes. Here, they're wearing their real clothes. Remember, this is a World's Fair." "Cool," said Annie. Jack looked around. How would they recognize 4 new magicians? He wondered, were they people dressed like people from Paris, or people from another country? Or would they look like Merlin or Morgan in flowing medieval robes? And what about the evil sorcerer? "Looks like we buy our ticket over there," said Annie, as they reached the end of the bridge. Jack and Annie headed for a ticket booth near the entrance grace. Above the gate, a giant banner read, "Welcome to the 1889 Paris World Fair." As they stood in line waiting to buy tickets, Jack pulled out their guidebook. "We need to prepare for our mission," he said. He turned to the first page and read aloud, "Welcome to the World's Fair, a living encyclopedia with over 60,000 exhibits from all over the globe." "Maybe some of the exhibits are magic shows," said Annie, "and that's where we'll find the new magicians." "Maybe," said Jack. He kept reading. "The World's Fair is a showcase of progress. Discover the genius of man. Learn all about science and technology. See wondrous new machines and inventions." Jack looked up. It sounds like this fair is mainly about inventions and scientific stuff. I don't see anything about magic or magicians." "How many?" the ticket seller asked gruffly. They had reached the front of the line. Annie held out a handful of French coins. "2, please," she said. The ticket seller took 2 coins. Annie put the remaining change back into her pocket. Then she and Jack walked through the gate into the 1889 Paris World's Fair. That's it for today. Stay tuned for part 2.